Hello. I am here today with Anant Agarwal, the newly minted CEO of Grady. Um, you may have heard his name before. He is also very well known as the founder of edX. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about this transition, his first new job in 15 years, and also about the state of the market and AI, where MOOCs in higher ed are today versus where were when he started. But before we do that, Anand, I'd love to just learn a little bit more about you. I feel like I know you vicariously because you've been in the industry and a pillar of the industry for so long. But could you just tell us how you got to where you are today and why now for the time to transition into a new organization?
Sure, Matt. First of all, great to chat with you. I've been a professor at MIT for nearly 40 years. And in 2011, I was the newly minted director of the computer science and AI lab at MIT. And this was before AI became super exciting as it is
There
today.
was AI before ChatGPT.
Yeah, exactly. The computer science and AI lab has AI as part of the name, CSAIL. And so AI has been around for a long time. So at that time, alongside MIT and Harvard, we started edX. edX was an online learning platform that enabled learners from anywhere in the world to come and access free or very low cost learning from some of the top institutions in the world, like Harvard or MIT or Berkeley, and companies like Microsoft and Google and others. We launched the platform edX.org in 2012 formally, but the work started the year before. I taught the first course on edX on circuits and electronics from MIT, and we thought we would get 200 people to come and sign up. But before we knew it, we had 154,000 students from 163 countries that were
Just
coming
in that
in
first course.
just in that first course. It
Crazy.
was completely insane. No marketing, no nothing. 10,000 people sign up in the first hour with zero marketing. Like, this was completely insane. So today, over the past 15 years, edX has grown to over 100 million learners and from 200 countries. We have 250 institutional partners creating courses on edX with over 5,000 programs in edX. edX innovated in a number of areas. We created radical new micro credentials like micro masters and micro bachelors. We created some of the first courses in partnership with Arizona State University, where people could take small programs on edX and then convert them to credit at the university towards a degree. We eventually launched several degrees on edX as well. And then in 2021, edX was acquired by 2U, which was the most well-known edtech company in the world, for $800 million. And I like to joke, edX was started as a nonprofit, and I like to joke that not bad for a small Cambridge nonprofit. So for the last 5 years, I've been with 2U as part of edX. edX has continued to grow and thrive, and we've been investing very heavily in all aspects of edX. So edX continues to grow very well. And just as in 2011, there was a confluence of a number of technologies of digitalization, technologies like social networking and cloud computing, mobile computing, that were video distribution at scale. And these were the perfect storm that could potentially revolutionize education. And that's where online learning started. Now, just as with AI, online learning had been around for a while, but in 2011, it really hit the scene in a big way. It became top universities began to offer online programs on edX. And so it was very, very popular. And the New York Times in 2012 called it the year of the MOOC.
I remember.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a huge time. So today we have a similar inflection point with AI. AI is transforming everything, much like digitalization transformed everything back 15, 20 years ago. So AI has hit the scene, and nothing will be the same as before. So we've launched a number of new AI-based learning technologies on edX, but at the same time, I've been on the board of a company, a startup called Grady, which has completely solved the AI grading problem, where I see an opportunity to democratize teaching and grading. Grading for us professors and so on is something that you have to do, but don't really enjoy doing. I like to joke that grading is thankless. Nobody likes it, but learners need it. And so, I saw this opportunity to democratize teaching and apply AI technology to an area that is super important for teachers and students, but nobody likes to do. And so, with Grady, this technology enables us to grade anything, handwritten stuff, essays, sketches, schematics, PowerPoints. It can grade anything with amazing quality and provide deep instant feedback to learners. So this opportunity was incredible. So I decided to work with them and come on as CEO, and I will continue as in an advisory capacity with edX. edX is very close to my heart. Continue an senior advisor to edX with edX. So I will continue to help edX as well.
I think there's something really important in there that I was just on the phone with Mike Olson at Proctorio, and he was telling me about their origin story, which had some similar roots in that he started as an employee of Arizona State University Online. And he helped build the technology stack that became ASU Online, that is a mega university today. And when he started it in 2013 or 14, um, he decided that the most important part of the value stack that was unsolved in for ASU Online was this proctoring component. And so he said, I'm going to build a company around that. And I think the symbol that I draw to you is, you at edX have this perspective of every component of the online degree. You are a professor. You have seen the technology stack that starts, all the way at the, recruiting a student through to granting a degree. And here you've decided that grading is either, and you can tell me which, or both, the most important thing to solve, or the most eminently solvable, right? By the advances that we've made in AI over the past 2-3 years. So I'd love if you could just talk about that. Like, what was it that said, "Oh, this is a problem worth solving independently"?
I think great question. It was interesting. Back in 2012, we built a machine learning based AI grader at edX. I always viewed grading as an incredibly important challenge, and it's also a very hard challenge. In order to scale education on edX, we had been able to automate the grading of equations, grading of many different problem types. But open response questions, essays, and so on were particularly hard. And we built a machine learning based grader in 2012, and it was written up at that time. And we open sourced the technology. The challenge was that it was not quite usable. We had to train it with the hundreds of essays, and even there, it would generally work, but it wasn't quite there. The grading is a very hard problem, um, and nobody likes to do it. And so that grading of open responses and grading of handwritten stuff, providing instant detailed feedback has remained a challenge. And the way we addressed it on edX is using peer evaluation, where we had
Sure.
others can grade each other's work, which is not that appealing, and it doesn't scale very well, particularly when students can come in and learn asynchronously at any time. So that's a really hard challenge, and I've seen all the problems that with online learning and with learning and universities. Having taught at MIT for 40 years and having run edX for a dozen years, and then a part of 2U. So grading has been a really big challenge. And so when I saw the technology created by two university professors, Pericles and Anastasios, the professors at Rutgers and University of Illinois in Chicago, it was absolutely amazing. I was, of course, skeptical, given that we had tried to build AI grading at edX ourselves. and I knew a few things about it. So the first thing I did was try it on some of my own assignments in circuits with schematics and sketches out of MIT. And I was completely blown away by the results. No training, no nothing. Uh, I said, this is unreal. And when I discovered that it could address handwritten stuff or sketches and provided detailed feedback, I was just completely blown away. And I said, this can really democratize teaching in a way that hasn't been seen before. They were amazing technologists, and I think they needed help with right. How do you really create something and scale it? And I felt that
Sure.
this was a startup. I really enjoyed building things. I'm an engineer. I love building things, and so I decided to join forces with them and help them build out this technology so that every teacher could become a super teacher. I wrote this article in the New York op-ed in the New York Times a couple of years ago, where I said this was 2 years ago, but I said that AI has the potential to make every teacher a super teacher. And here I saw something that could really make that happen. I mean, imagine if every teacher or every teaching assistant could have the power of 1,000 super teachers or 1,000 super teaching assistants that could completely scale, where any teacher anywhere could have this at their fingertips, where any student could have detailed feedback that you rarely got otherwise. So this was what was exciting for me.
And can you say, like, what is it about what the co-founders have done that makes it work, right? Like, I get pitched things all the time of like, we're going to convert your, PDF into a course, or we're going to, we're going to answer your homework questions automatically. And it's sort of just a wrapper on ChatGPT. I'm taking an educated guess, given the fact that you're involved and some of the other advisors involved, that this is a little bit more sophisticated than that. Like, what are they doing that makes this more magical as an experience and efficacious as a product?
I mean, excellent. I mean, of course, I've tried using ChatGPT and other engines to do grading, and it kind of sometimes work. The challenge with using LLMs and so on generically is like, as one of the founders says, it's like trying to pour crude oil into your car. It's the same
Hmm,
oil, but you don't pour crude oil into your car. You pour gasoline into the car. So
sure.
there's a bunch of processing that has happened. And similarly here, I tried to use LLMs like pouring crude oil into my car. And one of the challenges with LLMs is that they have what is called the psychophancy phenomenon. With the psychophancy phenomenon, they are used to try to help you and give you the right answer. And grading is not something that they do. So what the founders have done is build a stack of technology that got rid of hallucinations, and it has to work. As a professor, if even 1 in 100 students has a disastrous piece of feedback or response, essentially I have to go and check everything. And so it just
Right.
doesn't work. It just has to be right. And it could also grade handwritten stuff. It could grade schematics. So not only is there a lot of plumbing that has to go around the technology, but the technology itself is a stack and uses many of the Chat GPT, Claude, and other engines to make it all work. So the secret sauce is in how it all comes together, what the stack looks like, to actually make it work in a way that is not possible before. And and Grady is both a standalone tool that people can come in and use on the website, and that will be launched as a standalone where anybody can come in and use it starting tomorrow and kick the tires. Similarly, it is also integrated into the most common learning management systems like Canvas and Blackboard. It is also integrated into Open edX, and in fact, a Georgia Tech course on AI is actually using AI grading as part of that course on edX for the past year.
Cool. Yeah, and of course that the Georgia Tech comp sci courses are, sort of the very top end of the AI courses available
Yes.
online. One thing I think is worth sort of just covering is this. tension between detailed feedback and timely feedback. And you were talking earlier about the super teacher, right? And of course, like we all want detailed feedback, and the trade-off we've made for hundreds of years, if not longer, is that we'd rather have detailed feedback than timely, right? And it's saying we're okay with a lag period of a week or more to get that feedback between the professor, or usually teaching assistant, and the student. And I think, and this is something we were working on at SEI to reasonable success, and I think is probably a key concept that y'all are applying, that you're trying to eliminate that gap in timeliness, right? And understanding that students probably are able to achieve much better results over the long term when they're getting constant feedback than having to wait for that human in the loop. So
Look,
I guess could you talk about that sort of tension, and then further, where is the human in the loop if Grady's doing a lot of the grading now?
look, both timely feedback and good quality feedback are critical for learning. And in fact, learning science has shown that instant feedback not only makes students happy, but instant feedback improves learning outcomes. Now, I think, frankly, from my own experience, having gone to school in one of India's top institutes, IIT, in the late 70s, and then to Stanford for my PhD, I think it's just overly generous to say that as humans, we were able to solve the detailed feedback problem, but couldn't solve the timeliness problem. Frankly, I've rarely received feedback on any of my homeworks or exams. Um, Even at top institutions, and I'm saying this as having been a professor for 40 years, we hardly provide detailed feedback to our students in our universities. Students will be lucky if they see a little comment scribbled before they lose points. And so, not only do we not provide detailed feedback, but we also sometimes never provide feedback or provide it 1 to 2 weeks late. And it's known that instant feedback and good feedback can improve learning outcomes. So Grady solves both the problems. It can provide feedback at scale, whether it's 5 students or 10,000 students, it can provide that feedback in about an hour. It can grade and provide that feedback and detailed feedback. Wherever a point gets taken away or the student could improve, there is feedback provided. And it can also link to course material that the student can review when they get something wrong. It's very detailed feedback. And the quality of the feedback is substantially better and in detail and in effectiveness than humans can provide. So it solves both the issues. And in some A/B tests where professors have shown their students, hey, look, here's feedback A and here's feedback B. Um, which one would you like to receive? Students picked the AI provided feedback completely exclusively. It was by 100% majority that preferred the detail of the AI given feedback. AI is also rarely wrong. We are seeing that AI is 10 times to 30 times less likely to make errors in feedback than humans. And so we've done a lot of these comparisons with humans and with AI. And so I think given all of this, it's just a huge advantage for learning. Now, there's a human in the loop. Um, we all know that a lot of professors and students still are coming to grips with AI. Where can AI work well? Where do we worry about AI? And we all know that experience builds trust. So what Grady has done in order to build the trust with faculty and students, AI puts the faculty squarely in the loop. The technology is such that it can be fully autonomous, but faculty are squarely in the loop because the feedback from faculty is that they want to be squarely in the loop, and learners want to know that the feedback they're getting is not, something that AI is producing, but a faculty has reviewed it and agrees with it. So after the grading happens, there's a phase in Grady where the faculty member has a chance to review all the feedback, and the faculty member can actually provide comments and have Grady regrade if needed. And the faculty can also ultimately edit the feedback. So the faculty is very much in the loop. And this goes to something that's deeply important to me and to our founders, Pericles and Anastasios, that AI be used very responsibly in a way that amplifies the human, not replaces the human. And that amplification is the critical part where AI to be used as an exoskeleton that just makes me just so much better, turns the teacher into a super teacher, but doesn't replace the teacher. And that human connection is very important. And so not only is the faculty member or the teaching assistant in the loop, but more than that, it can free up time where you don't have to go through the detail and free up time to do things that faculty and teaching assistants enjoy, which is interacting with students one on one and mentoring them and helping them. That's what we enjoy doing.
What I appreciate that about that, and what I think doesn't get sort of discussed enough in a lot of the sort of debates about technology, is just like an earnest assessment of the current state, and understanding that like current state often like doesn't look that good, right? Like, if a professor's giving you bad feedback 1 to 2 weeks late, like that's not helpful. And so, I don't want to pretend that technology is a panacea, and I'm glad to hear that you guys have integrated the faculty into the loop. But I think it's really important to just be honest about like the state of play and say like, look, there are things that there's plenty of work tasks that I don't like doing that probably should just be AI because I end up not doing a good job and I do them late. And I think that's almost universally true, whether you're a faculty member or a white collar worker like me or anything else. So I'm glad that's a part of how you're approaching product development and implementation. Last question, and then I'll let you get on with your day. Um, when you think about the next 5 years, so close enough that you have to be realistic, but far enough away that some things could meaningfully change, what does the education world look like? And that can be inclusive of Grady's role within it. But what if, a learner who's entering college in 5 years, what does their experience look like, and how different is it from what it looks like today?
The way I'd like to describe it is going back to my own life and experiences where when computers and digitalization hit the scene, teaching that was purely a manual process then incorporated the computer. 20 odd years ago, learning management systems came in, computers came in, various systems came in that helped the teacher, helped the learner, where we integrated computation into the teaching flow, and it became part and parcel of teaching. I see the same thing happening with AI, where over the next 5 years and much sooner, we will be integrating AI into the flow of teaching. Um, just as computation didn't replace the teacher, it augmented the teacher. Similarly, AI will augment the teacher. And I see many, many areas. So, just as part of Grady, my excitement is that it's not just about grading, that we see a path where the same technology we've built can do so many more things. Some universities have asked us, hey, can you take what you have and turn that into a practice tool for students? Yes, we will create a practice tool because today, if a student wants to practice with the teaching assistant, no way the teaching assistant can spend 6 hours with them, quizzing them and giving them practice. No way. No way on earth. But with AI, we can actually do that. Students can have a lot of practice. That's just one example. There's just so much more that we can do, and there's so many tasks that may not be super engaging or exciting for a teaching assistant or a professor. For example, if a student has a problem at 3 a.m. at night, I'm not sure I'd like to be woken up to answer a student's question.
Me
So,
either.
but AI can be 7 by 24 and can help the student. And so there's so many more things that we are planning to do that where you can think of AI as being an exoskeleton that just amplifies the teacher and create a suite of tools that, essentially 5 years from now, we won't recognize teaching as it is, but the teacher and the teaching assistant will be at the heart of it, but they will be doing things very differently. They will scale, they will do much better quality work and provide instant feedback, and learning science has shown that this can improve learning outcomes. So outcomes will be a lot better, and teachers and assistants will be spending a lot more time doing what they really enjoy doing, which is interacting with students, helping them as needed.
I love that vision. And I am so grateful that you're willing to take the time to chat. I'm really excited for your new role. It sounds like you are too.
Yes,
And
I love
yeah,
building things, and it reminds me a lot of the early days at edX, where you are sort of building the plane while you're flying it, and that's what we're doing here. So it's in the early days of AI, so I'm really excited about the opportunities here.
well, I will be watching closely, and I hope we get to do this again sometime soon.
Look forward to it, Matt. Thank you.
Thanks.